In the words of DJ Ferris, this is Chicago. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Welcome to the Windy City podcast presented by Fansided. You know that guy right there. That is Alex Shapiro. I am Kenneth Davis. I know, all right? This is our first live stream. Please tweet, retweet, whatever, Blue Sky, gram it, Facebook it, let everybody know. Jump in the comments. We had to do this, win or lose, but we did predict victories. And man, it looked like it was going to be an L. I mean, think about what this show could have been about an hour ago and where we are right now. Think about the Ben Johnson disdain that we were about to have for his Alex text being cute. But the Bears did what they've done this entire season and worked miracles and pulled the game out to defeat the Green Bay Packers in Chicago 31-27. Oh me, oh my. What were you about to say?
Just absolutely outrageous. It was 21-3 in the third quarter.
Dude.
It was, I mean, we've seen comebacks, but it was okay, down 18 at half, showing nothing on offense. As you said, getting cute, leaving points on the table, getting uber aggressive, which is like, I understand. It's the playoffs. You want to get aggressive, uber aggressive. I mean, going for fourth down on like the minus 32 or whatever it was, you know?
Dude.
Well,
okay.
In their own territory, going at fourth down. I mean, this was unlike anything else. It's the best game. I know I feel like we've said this a few times, especially the last win against the Packers, but this is like the best, most important win for this team since the NFC Championship game that they beat the Saints. It's unreal.
Dude. Clearly that's clearly that is. And I'll say this in some ways, and I'm not, they may not make it to the Super Bowl. This means more, right? Because I know some people won't agree with it, but that seemed like it could have been a blip because of what that offense was, not what that defense was in 05, right? And there's holes all around that have to be, and we'll touch on it, but that's for another episode. All right. This episode is about celebration. This is about Chicago exhaling. This is about togetherness. This is everybody that's even watching this. This is about family that's not here that will just be going bananas about this right now. This is maddening. And then the thing when you were just saying this, I was going to say, well, when you just set the score in the third quarter, right? You said 20, was it 21-3? What was the score?
21-3?
21-3, right? All right. So this is the thing. I would say, like, damn, that seems insurmountable, right? But in all fairness, not how this season is went. Like, you still knew. Like, Afton had to remind me, like, you know, they still can do it. And I'm like, I know, because a part of me is like, screw it. You see, I went dark on the chat, right? Because at one point, it got so good that I was like, I need this for myself. I'd actually turn. It wasn't a you thing. I didn't want to know when the scores was happening. Because for a slight minute, I'd slightly drafted out of real time. I didn't know because I was mad. So I was like, let me go rinse this out, right? Like, man, I'm upset, right? So I drifted out, and I knew they had scored a 2-point because I was like, I think they scored. Then my phone buzzed again. I was like, they just went for 2, right? So that's why I was like, okay, let me hit my value. And then all your chats are lighting up, and I was like, dude, this is for me right here. This is like an old school. If you ever partook, what people would say, not saying we ever did, but a personal. This was I needed this. I mean, part of it, Alex, and correct me. Let me know how you feel about this, and everybody let us know in the chat. Sure. It's fantastic. And when reality set back in that it was against Green Bay, and that always, and you see the FGB from Sex Machine 77 right there in the chat. But it's also just what it meant as a Bears fan to get this style of victory with the world watch. How many people do you actually think was like, see, I knew they wasn't real? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and for
everybody.
You can, it's like, and for them to fall on their face, all right, and then for Dennis Allen to have to figure it out at halftime, all right, to get out of man, play some zone, which players were going to play. You are talking about well, Kyler Gordon not starting. Well, we see Kyler Gordon was breaking case of emergency there, out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that was interesting.
That was, but it worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I need you to get out there. Like Rome, you could tell the players were not 100%, but they grew. Jalen hasn't been right since he came back. We talked about that the last show, right? Where we were talking about Tyreek Stevenson, it was kind of like the pitch count, snap count for Jalen, maybe, but dude, that victory, that W right there. I don't know the last time in Chicago and that a victory was so sweet. And I'm sure people will say the Cubs, even though you and I are Sox fans. I'm sure people will say the Blackhawks. But only thing with that, and I think the Cubs was definitely, but you had the hand though. You know what I'm saying? Like those were teams that were supposed to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
the Blackhawks had the whip when it comes to the talent that they have, right? And the coach,
and everything,
right? But this is first year, right? This is man
with house money here.
Yeah, yes, that great point. We're taking the toy out the wrapper, right? And we didn't pay great money for it, but man, this is quality. Yo, got something. I had some earbuds that cost like $20. And
wired earbuds or wired earbuds?
No,
Bluetooth,
they were
because guess what?
Bluetooth.
It's time to go back to wired.
We're not doing that on this episode. All right, I know I've said that too, but we're not doing that on this episode. But what were you going through, Alex? Before we dive into the game, what were your emotions and some of the people that perhaps outside of me that you were talking to in the chat? What were people discussing?
Well, yeah, I got group chats with friends. You know, I've mentioned it on the show before. There's an NFC North kind of chat that I'm in. We've got people from Detroit, Minneapolis, Wisconsin, and Chicago.
Now, are these media people or just friends?
Just friends. And then there's another media chat as well. And it was a wide range of, hey, this ain't over, to, hey, why isn't Tyson Bagent in this game? Tyson Bagent, it was right after Caleb Williams missed Roma Dunze in the end zone, where it looked like he had him for a touchdown, right? He kind of threw the ball deeper into the end zone instead of breaking him out towards the side of the end zone. Do you remember that play I'm talking about?
Yeah,
after that was when the Tyson Bagent chats came out. And, you know, I kind of like laugh at all this. The interception. There was like a half-hour long discussion about that interception that I got involved in.
Which one?
The one where, in my opinion, Luther Burden didn't run the correct route or wasn't on the same page as Caleb Williams, where Caleb Williams seems to throw towards an in-breaker. And then Luther Burden kept running like a streak. It was dark. Man, it was dark. People are already like hopping off the Caleb. It is so funny how quickly people fall off the Caleb bandwagon. People talking about it's time for this team to look for a new defensive coordinator.
That's wild.
And I was just like taking it all in. Meanwhile, again, let's focus on the positives. Dennis Allen.
Dude.
What he did and what the players did too. I'll throw the players into it. Jalen Johnson was a step behind everything in that first half, to the point where it was like when Tyreek Stevenson came in and made a forced fumble, it'd be like, does Tyreek Stevenson need to keep playing this football game? But then Jalen Johnson made it back onto the field. He made it back onto the field in the second half and just looked like he found another gear. That's warrior stuff. Kyler Gordon, who again, I texted you, I don't even know this guy's name. I had to look up his name and his number, and I have to go back in my texts to remember this guy's name again. Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
That's one hell of a name too.
Called off the practice squad. I'm pretty sure, again, we're watching this live. We're firing off tweets. We're obviously in the chat. I'm looking up stats. I'm looking at the game information. So it's possible I missed Kyler Gordon on the field. I'm pretty sure Jalen Reeves-Maybin, again, checking my notes again, made it onto the field at Sam linebacker.
Wow.
Before Kyler Gordon made it on the field at nickel. And Kyler Gordon, was he tested time and time again up until the final moments? Yes, but he came through and found that gear at times too, making tackles near the line of scrimmage, sniffing out screens, just getting in the way, creating traffic where it's like This guy is obviously gutting through stuff. Hasn't played in so long. Has so much rust. But Warrior-type performance, in my opinion. Made it onto the field. Made just enough plays. And then Caleb Williams. I mean, it all begins and ends with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is everything for this team, obviously. Rough first half. Say what you will about whose fault it was for that interception. Did Caleb Williams need to go somewhere else with the ball? Maybe. I don't really know the progressions. I don't know what the reads are. Did Luther Burden not know the play? Definitely, potentially. Didn't matter. Caleb Williams started to unravel, in my opinion, in a way that we hadn't seen him unravel previously. I think he had been really good about like being next play up, but then he puts that aside, right? He puts that aside in the second half and then just starts stacking plays, and made some huge throws, made some more bad throws, right? Made some more bad throws where he missed guys, but then was able to shake those off in a way I thought he wasn't shaking it off in the first half, to just make unbelievable throws. Dude, the fourth down throw with literally everything on the line. Fourth down throw where if you don't make it, you're going home. Going home. That and part. Just makes the most outrageous throw on the move. You know, so
fools to talk about Tyson Bagent. Again, this isn't a Tyson Bagent dislike thing. Because my thought going through the game was, one, you remember when, and this happens to both quarterbacks, but remember when Justin was like, yeah, I don't get nervous. And Caleb kind of said the same thing too, right? And it was like, yes, and you saw it. You saw it in their play, their first seasons. And I'm like, first of all, this is a playoff game. He's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to adjust to this. But the fact is not just him adjusting and working through, still messing up, right? And if we weren't live streaming, I would have dropped a curse word right there. Working through, still messing up, but still having that innate ability to be able to do wild, successful things. Where I'm like, the thing is, we're still seeing this player progress and grow. But you see the quality and why he's special. There's little things as far as accuracy that has to be cleaned up. But again, this isn't the show for that. I mean, like, no. It's not. I mean,
and dude, it's not just the crazy throw. It's like, okay, hey, the Bears need to score and they need to score fast. Marches down the field. It's just going to Colson Loveland over and over, and they find that rhythm. Olamide Zaccheaus, who has been totally replaced by Luther Burden, but like, bam, he's open. I'm hitting him. No hesitation. No like, it's just like he's open, throw, dart, touchdown, 2-point conversion, just a perfect out throw. You know, these simple plays, stacking those simple plays to get them back in the game. And I'm not discounting what the defense did, right? The defense, Dennis Allen, what he did, bringing back pressure, like, obviously that was huge, but yeah, like, all of them, truly all of them, they just stacked plays. This team doesn't quit, man. This team does not quit.
You said it. I'm looking at my notes. Escape and hits Rome on 4th and 8 for a deep pass of like 30 while being hit. All right. Wow. How many of those passes while being hit? Then under pressure, hits Cal Monunga. Monunga gets another first, dude. Just looking at what they did. Swift, dog, weren't we just talking on the preview episode? And I said Swift has to be used in the passing game. And
yes,
you have to take advantage. You have to take advantage of Swift in the passing game. Hit Swift, of course. They're out of position. Takes it to the house. I can't curse on here on this live stream, but I would. Takes it to the house, dude, and then makes the game 21-16. All right. Sitting there. Also, one thing, too, we'll get back to the offense. We have kicked Richard Hightower's can up and down the street, all right, this season. But you look at what Devin Duvernay gave them opportunities in this game, my guy, all right? One thing, though, I must say, boy, that damn Dexter Sr. Not picking up that fumble. And Kennard trucking everybody. I was like, look, I felt like Bill Walsh and the San Francisco 49ers win, Mike Dick could put the fridge out there, right? Because it was like, now we getting disrespectful out here when Kenneth's just breaking everyone down. I mean, the emotional swings in this game. That's the thing. From being like, this is some old Bears BS right here, right? Mixed with what the hell has Ben Johnson doing, right?
Yep.
Why are you? And we've said this.
Running the red zone on 2nd and 9. What's going on with that? That goes for a loss of 4.
Dude, the first big whoop was you got 1 yard. You either gonna go power or QB sneak.
Yeah, 4th and 1.
Tough. Dude, I don't care if Kenneth got caught in the wash. I don't care if DJ slips. That's why you don't do that on 4th down. You know, like not on 4th and 1. And get another set of downs like that right there. And I love me some Ben Johnson. And I hope there are things that took place that we talked about this on the episodes, ego, and you want Ben Johnson to have an ego. You want Ben Johnson to be like, I'm one of the baddest dudes with the clipboard that's out here. But he also has to know when to do some of these things as a rookie head coach. And that's also emphasis on what this season is about, with a lot of people learning a lot of things on the fly. But man, it was beautiful. All right. But man, it was, and then it's Green Bay. Dog. Yeah. Dude, here in Chicago, how many of us right now know Green Bay fans that are Chicagoans, right? They were like, are you sure? I was at work today, right? One of the residents is like, he's been like, the Packers are going to win. And I'm like, they don't have Micah Parsons. I was like, if they had Micah Parsons, I would be a lot more willing to say they would win. But they don't have Micah Parsons, and the Bears have been coming back on. The Bears, they should be 3-0 against their ass. They should be 3-0. I say that though, right? But they should be they should be 3-0 because again, a Caleb interception in the first game at Green Bay. But you sit there and you're able to take it to them and suffering some losses. Man, for TJ Edwards, and hopefully it's not as bad as what it looks like. For Ozzie Trapillo, Green Bay has some losses, but I'm not even trying to be facetious. Okay. But man, to suffer those losses, and when you're doing it, you're like partially, besides the Trapillo one, man, the season's over. Like, man, I guess, well, you'll start healing, and to pull it off and not have to worry about, well, what are they gonna do next week? I'm sorry. As I do my best Mojo Brooks laugh impersonation, man. I mean, I feel like we got to do like 3 episodes this week just to
fully turn the page. Well, here's the thing. This is, we talked about it. How many demons has this team slayed? How many exorcisms have they gone through? And this to me felt like the final one. It's like, could you argue that every season that doesn't end in a Super Bowl championship is a failure? Like, yes, you can argue that, and I kind of hear you. But to me, whatever happens from this point on, you have to view it as a huge success because of all of the things the Bears accomplished that the Bears would never accomplish in the past. They finally broke Eric Kramer's record. I don't care that it took 17 games. They finally fixed the offensive line. They finally have an explosive offense. They finally found ways to win games instead of finding ways to lose games, right? It used to be the Bears were the team that had the 21-3 lead and pissed it away against the Lions or pissed it away against the Packers. How many times have we seen the Bears find a way to lose? This year, it was, okay, we are finding the way to win over and over and over and over. The last demon to really slay, in my opinion, was the Packers in a game that was a winner go home moment. And to me, it's like, because as you said, your Packers friends, I'm sure, and my Packer fans friends are always saying, like, doesn't matter, that like we will just beat the Bears. Like, okay, cool, your team beat my team in a regular season game. Just wait until the playoffs, because that's when it matters, and we'll get you. And like, I have a feeling that a lot of Bears fans had that feeling in the back of their head. That's like, man, here we go again against this team that always ruins it for us. This team that has brought me nothing but misery. And the Bears finally got him. They finally got him. And I think
mixed emotions
matters,
on this,
man.
One, shout out to everybody internationally, and that's also shout out to the Bears fandom and how wide it is, right? Yes, one thing. One is because the Bears have done this to Green Bay this season, but also, and this is my opinion, it's due to the fact that teams around the league know, oh my goodness, here they come again, right? Like that is now like, that's what they do basically, right? But then, and it takes me back to the Philadelphia game when we were sitting there talking about where Philadelphia kind of knew like we have nothing, and I don't want to say they quit, but they didn't play with the same emotions. They didn't give off the same body language, right? The body language shift in the Packers first, and it angered me. Jordan Love was up there grinning it up. I don't remember if it was one time it was with Christian Watson, who remember when we wanted Christian Watson to be here, right?
With LaFleur.
And he was smiling his you know what off, right? And then, and this is when the Bears were at the start of trying to come back. You saw him sitting on the sidelines, still faced. But then out on the field, when Dennis Allen had flipped the switch, you saw how his body language was different. Like the pressure. Hey, I've complained about the blitzes getting home. Hold on. We didn't lead with this. Austin Booker. It's a wave out there, Alex. It's a wave. It's a wave in the lake, right?
They did it.
Austin Booker and what he has shown us in this small sample size in a season where he was dinged up, and to think about what he could perhaps do, and this is in two sides as far as stopping the run and pressuring the court. It was difficult to stop Austin Booker for large swatches of this game. There was some Tez effects
at the very end. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. Let's be honest. We got to keep it a buck. But man, game on the line. Absolutely got to have it. One stop.
That's what he's supposed to do.
One stop for glory. He came through. He came through, and he was pressuring the quarterback.
I'll say this though, when you say slaying the demons, yes, this season is all cream for real. This season's all cream. But I think one thing that we've tried to talk about is real football consistency over the years and what it really means. And one thing that we've said a lot is how they come back next year. How does Ben Johnson handle his team? How does he handle himself? How does Caleb handle himself? Right. And we're right now, I'm looking past next week. We'll get back into next week. Right. We will. But I think to really slay this dragon, and even if it's not linear next year, just like the offense hasn't been linear the last game, it kind of went off, because we said at the beginning of when we came back that this probably won't be linear. It got linear for a minute, right? It got they got better. They got better.
Yeah.
It got linear for a minute. Then it was like, no, it's not going to be linear, right? But the thing is, if they come back next year and the record can be similar, but they're a better team, like the defense is better, the type of stuff that Caleb is doing, the mistakes that he makes, that he's not making those same mistakes. His passes are crisper. There's more consistency, right? Then, yeah, I'm with you as far as the demon, because that's the thing, too. We've had the blip year, 05, even though 2018, right? Where it seems like we about to go on a run on them, right? And, excuse me, it doesn't happen. And the thing is, I feel better about this team. We're being more consistent because one, it's the quarterback, regardless of because that just means y'all didn't like him. Y'all don't like him. If he's done this year and you were already talking about bringing back Tyson Bagent, that's a you thing, right? Like that's that. Even if, in all fairness, and I don't want this to be the ceiling for Caleb, but if this is around the ceiling, I mean, I ain't that mad, right? Like if he can do this, right? He's basically, and I'll give shout out to Glenn Morgan said this. Glenn Morgan was like, well, he's Brett Favre. And I said to Glenn, I was like, Glenn, you being slick, right? We were on Bears Country Pod. And I was like, you being slick because he doesn't turn over the ball like Brett Favre. So that's not true, right? Even though he did this game, right?
He's Aaron Rodgers. That's who he is.
Yes, when we're talking about turning over the ball, he's like Aaron Rodgers.
Man,
Dude, oh my, what a year.
Well, here's another reason why I love how we're already talking like the season's over, because this felt like a Super Bowl for the Bears. We'll get into next week. We'll get into next week later. And you know what? Maybe we shouldn't talk about this yet, but I feel like there's reason for optimism because this team is just built. It feels like it's built on a better foundation. The offensive line looks better. Defensive line needs help, but obviously you can't fix everything all in 1 year. They invested a whole lot of energy into that offensive line this year. And it got better. Roma Dunze is here to stay. Ben Johnson is here to stay. It's not like Vic Fangio, who was the architect, the leader of that defense, and that defense was the reason why that 2018 team was so good. Nobody was like, oh, well, Mitch Trubisky and Allen Robinson can put up 30 points on you any night. It was, no, this defense can score. And then Vic Fangio left, and Chuck Pagano, kept it going for a little while. Chuck Pagano kept it going for a little while, but it just wasn't. It was not the same.
Can I cook real quick?
Cook.
Let's play a game. Tyson Bagent is the best backup the Bears ever had. Who did you say that he broke the single season passing yard record for?
Eric Kramer.
Yeah, so I don't know how old you are, but Eric Kramer backed up Steve Walsh, and that was a problem. That year he finally took the job back from Steve Walsh. I think we could do this. We could do this a little bit. Who started and didn't get any reps his rookie season, but Brian Urlacher was like, I really don't want you guys to trade this guy, and went on to have a really good. He's better than Kyle Orton. I don't know if you've seen a full season of what Kyle Orton did for the Bears or what he did for the Buffalo Bills.
my worst take to this day, that I will die with this take. Bears win the Super Bowl, Kyle Orton. I'll die with that take. Why are we talking about Tyson Bagent? Lloyd's Legends, I appreciate you. He is a phenomenal backup.
I'll say this.
Tyson Bagent.
Okay, let me say something across my mind, right? And I'm a Tyson Bagent fan. I'm not a Tyson Bagent hater, right?
Yeah.
I think
he is a great backup. He's a phenomenal backup.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's not the Tyson has to go. They need somebody else in that quarterback room, right? For this to go. One thing I thought about too, this is when you think the season is going left, right? I'm like, they need an old quarterback in there. He doesn't have to play, but he needs to be like, hey, Caleb, let me help you a little bit. And they need an old wide receiver, or they need some old vets, right? That's won. I'm for real. They need some old vets that have won on the offensive side of the ball.
Great season with the Vikings once.
Did some
good work with the Rams.
But they need the old washed up. Like if Phillip Rivers just wants to come and hang out for a little bit from Alabama, but I'm joking, but that's what was just crossing my mind. And we've talked about it on the show. They got to get a DT and another pass rusher. Yeah. But man, oh man, that's how this game went, Alex. This game went from, okay, we're planning on what the vacation was, 1, 2, 3 Bahamas, right? Cancun rather. And then it's like, oh man, we got to get ready to face whoever is going to be the team between Philadelphia
or
and San Francisco or the Rams. And the game with the Rams today, even though, boy, that damn Stafford, right? Like,
you want to talk about a guy who performs when the chips are on the table?
Dude, that team and Williams, I tell you about Williams too, dog. That team right there. Best thing is that Adams isn't himself if the Bears have to face them. But man,
is Puka Nacua a little rattled? Puka Nacua looked a little rattled today.
I'm sure he'll be ready to go coming up for the next playoff game.
I want to talk more about the run game because I think this is another underrated difference between the Bears now and the Bears in the past, and more of the things that I heard as things were looking ugly in this game. Ben Johnson, Nagy 2.0. Saw a lot of that. And when he's getting cute, you can see the similarities. When you're seeing again, all of the cuteness, it makes you think of that. But something Matt Nagy would have done that Ben Johnson again refuses to do, give up on the run. And we've said it all year long. This would have been another opportunity where a more panicked play caller would have completely abandoned that run. And yeah, I know the Caleb Williams threw the ball damn near 50 times, but like obviously it had to be done. But he did. He threw the ball 48 times, but they didn't completely abandon that run. Kyle Monangai still got carries. DeAndre Swift still getting carries towards the end of that game when the Bears needed to score with urgency, right?
Yeah.
They're giving DeAndre Swift handoffs inside the 5. Instead of throwing it 3 times to save time, they go back to their bread and butter, which is let's get DeAndre Swift the football. Again, that is a huge moment. So let's give Ben Johnson his enormous flowers, because I think a lot of other coaches would have been real happy to throw the ball 3 times down there. He says, no, let's stick with the run game. That's obviously an enormous touchdown that they scored. DeAndre Swift. It's a big exhale moment. So this is another point of like, okay, he's sticking to his guns. He will always be the run guy, and that's
why he was the guy to bring it. I like the fact that you bring that up, because it's body blow, bloody blow, body blow. Yeah, I'm rocking you to the head. I'm hitting you with these jabs and these power punches, but I gotta hit that body. And that's one reason why. And the Matt Nagy thing is a bit much, but that's one reason why I was so big on him coming here, because, and you still see it with Detroit for the most part, their likeliness to run the ball and stick to the run, because if you go full on pass, one, there's a chances of a lot more 3 and outs and shorter series, right? There's a chance of perhaps the ball being turned over. Particularly, we've seen that in this game. You have to settle your quarterback and settle the team. Plus, and we always say this, offensive linemen like to punish too. You know what I'm saying? They to get off of people and not backstep.
Right.
But man, dude, I mean, partially is I love doing this show and I love being here with you and everybody here. But partially, I want to go and laugh to myself in a little corner and just giggle, right? Because there was parts of this game where I didn't think we were going to see this victory. And now I can't even think about the fact they knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. Like, that hasn't even set in yet. Right, to be honest with you, that has set in a day or two. But the fact that the Bears were down bad and ugly, right? Bad and ugly, and you alluded to this, they would have quit in the past. They wouldn't have just quit. They would have made it 10 times worse in the past. The floodgates would have broken open, and we would talk about like, damn, dude, it was 5 turnovers. It was this. How did this happen? And they were able to batten the hatches and beat the Pack, and the Pack knew it was coming. And that's the thing, as you were saying about this season and making a huge turn. The Pack knew. The Pack were like, "Oh no, here we go again." And the great thing about what this new rivalry seems like is going to be with Matt LaFleur, depending on how long he lasts in Green Bay, they should definitely let him be there last year. But in the past, we talked about some Packers fans have not been happy the fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl during this run. And during this, you had Aaron Rodgers with 3 MVPs during Matt LaFleur's tenure in Green Bay. And I mean, Jordan Love, the amount of stuff they've given Jordan Love that they used to didn't even give him. Like, they didn't draft wide receivers in the first round. You just look at Golden or whatever like that for Aaron Rodgers. But the fact that Matt LaFleur, Ben Johnson came out and hadn't taken the ball, had decided to defer when the Bears won, and was like, time of possession, we got to do something. We're going to start off with doing something here, right?
Yep.
And Matt LaFleur,
they 8 clock and scored points.
Both teams to a degree. When you look at how many series, by the time it was 3 minutes left in the second, I think I was at 3 to 4 series on offense and defense. I'm like, man, they are taking time off the clock. But the fact of these two masterminds and going at it, and even though it wasn't working for Ben Johnson, and you look at, and I love the fact, this is what I love about this Bears team. Man, Green Bay had it going. And you could feel them being like, we doing what we do to them, right? We told you all, they not them, right? This is the playoffs. Oh, y'all thought when y'all was doing that in the regular season, y'all was really doing something. Man, please. It did. Oh my! And then they quit. Well, they didn't quit, but they got fearful, or they're sphinxed, right? Like
tightened.
They got
There was
tight.
a tightening.
They got but look, I'll say this. They're so talented. They were still able to get chunks of yards in that scenario. Now I'll say this. It helps that the Bears, injury-wise, are down bad all over the defense, right? They're like your defense, even your good defensive backs aren't healthy. They're just available because they're gutting it out, right?
Yeah.
And you still pulled it out like that. Man, we gotta appreciate this. Like
a few more
real
things that I just thought of. You're talking about them pulling it out. How about another huge growth point for this team? This team had been predicated on taking advantage of opportunities with takeaways and then capitalizing on those. What happened this time? The Bears could not capitalize on the takeaways.
Right.
They didn't get an interception. Three times there was a forced fumble. Green Bay recovered them all. There's the forced fumble right in front of the goal line, Tyree Stevenson, that the Packers fall on so they get the ball back at the 1. Josh Jacobs fumbles the ball on the return, and the Green Bay recovers. And then there was the big man fumble that Jervon Dexter couldn't land on. Every single one of those moments felt like, oh, man, that was the big break that the Bears needed, and they didn't get it. Oh, well, so it goes. But they still won.
That's the part.
Again, it's like another breakthrough moment. They didn't. The ball didn't bounce their way. They didn't get the multiple takeaways. They didn't create that luck for themselves. They still won. So it's just another moment where it really gets you thinking. If this team could play for 4 quarters, man. If this team could play for 4 quarters, and that every team in the NFL says that, right? It's hard to play complete football for 60 minutes. That's a hard thing to do. But man, I mean, it's crazy how different this team looks. They can look so bad. They can look so inept. And then they can also look so good. Right. And unstoppable, where if they just were like able to meet in the middle for a little bit and then turn into the unstoppable Bears, that's where it gets you thinking crazy. So it's another huge moment, I think, in terms of, hey, we didn't get the breaks. The ball did not bounce our way today. Still found a way to win. So
to go from scoring 3 straight CDs to then having 3 punts. I mean, flip like, dude.
3 and out, 4 possessions. 3 and out in 4 possessions.
Dude, that's the thing where it's different. That's where it's totally different here, right? Like, they would never do this in the past. Oh, the defense, 2018's defense could do this. But man, the offense would have abandoned them damn near at some point, or wouldn't have been able to pull. They wouldn't have been able to score like this. Not before Mitch came back from being hurt. Because remember, they were never the same when Mitch came back, right? It was the offense never really did what it did. I don't know if it was tape or whatever, but I don't know, man. I'm excited. I just want to wrap myself up in Bears glory. Dude, it's sad, and it's like, you can get on ownership all the time, and it's deservingly so. But to see George McCaskey run down there for TJ Edwards, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, we always make fun of this. All right, but I'm going to let you all into the back of the office. How over the last 4 years, it'd always be like, well, he's a local kid. And it'd be like, oh, okay. But I said
the local guy of it all for all the local guy.
Ryan Poles being like your local guy.
They love a
but
local
I
guy.
did say, it's funny. The first thing I said when Edwards got hurt, I said to Ole, I was like, man, he's a local kid, right? I went like, he's a local kid, and it was like, you just sit there and I'll say this sometimes. A lot of the guys that I come behind in like sports radio, Herb Lawrence will use the phrase "out of town stupid," referring to like announcers or whatever. But the fact of like knowing, and of course they do interviews, what Edwards has meant as far as since he became a Bear and it started playing well that first year, and he kind of been out this year. but what he's meant. And it was just kind of sad that because it was also thinking about next year and like, how's this all going to go? And again, this is a happy time. This is a happy place to be. But I even think about somebody like that in this type of situation. But man, what does this mean for the division? Right? Like what this?
It's another statement. It's another statement that like we won the division and it wasn't a fluke.
It was great point. Great, that part right there. Right.
The Bears took the North, and do you know what they did not do tonight?
Just give it back.
They did not give it back.
They ran away. Look, they dangled it though. Wait, it was a tug of war, and then they ran away and hit it. They ran away and hit it in the greatest way possible. Man, I can't believe, dude. Rome Odunze, right? This is all we asked for Rome. We were like, dude, I know you're not going to be healthy, right? I just need you to be vertical and to be a decoy at times because people are going to be on you. But still, that's the thing too about, again, I'm talking about past things. A lot of those guys have been great guys for the Bears. So not take a knock on that. But the fact that these guys gutted it out in the fashion that they gutted it out in on both sides of the ball, I mean, man, dude, this year has been a revelation, to be honest with you. Like, if contextually, if next week, things are just terrible, we're going to come on here hot. We're going to be hot, right? It's not going to be as hot if they would have lost today. If they would have lost today, it was going to be murder on the show.
It was very close to being a very different show.
Yes, it was. Like, dude, if they would have lost today, the amount of disdain that we would have come down with started with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. And then Dennis Allen would have fit right in there too, right? And then we would have went through the hurt DBs. I mean, it would have
linebackers.
Dude,
we got the defensive line. I do want to bring it down a little bit. We have some breaking news, Kenneth. And I know this is supposed to be a celebratory show.
Give me injury updates.
We have some due diligence to do with the injury news. We have injury updates on both guys. This is a tweet from Ian Rappaport. He is citing Ben Johnson. I'm sure this came out in the press conference. TJ Edwards, fractured fibula, out for the rest of the playoffs.
Definitely.
Ozzie Trapillo, patellar injury, out for the season, he says, but like obviously that's the rest of the playoffs. Those are two serious injuries to two very important guys. So
man, Ozzie was doing such a bang-up job for a guy that you didn't expect to really take over the job just this season, particularly coming out of training camp when they moved him back over to the right side. Not to say he was perfect, but that hurts. And of course,
Theo Benedict. It's the Theo Benedict show again.
Yes, yeah,
probably. And then DeMarco Jackson. Hey, thank goodness this team found DeMarco Jackson.
Yep. You don't like saying that, but you do, because TJ Edwards had to come down, but you do have a guy that has proven he can play in DeMarco Jackson rather. But that Ozzie Trapillo one that's concerning, particularly from at times this year what the pressure looked like being staved off from Caleb on his weak side.
Mm-hmm.
That one, but you know what? That's not today's show.
Can we give Ozzie Trapillo some flowers? I tweeted this out in the moment, especially now that we know it's a patellar thing, which sounds painful. It sounds bad.
Yeah.
His ability to hop off the field. To hop off the field so that the Bears didn't have to burn a timeout when it's like crazy urgent mode. You want to talk about another
Great
just
point.
Absolutely warrior moment? Like,
great point.
That's like,
great point.
Those are the little things where it's like you saved your team a timeout, and that's a serious injury. So like, hearts go out to Ozzie, and man, what an effort to hop off the field yourself so your team doesn't have to burn a time out. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, man. That again, but that goes to this year. Like that's been dog. That rookie class is crazy. We talked about that a lot. That and even if it's just this year, that's a crazy ass rookie class. And you know how many years we've sat around here and we've gotten one or two out of there that's either been really good during the season or gave you a game, right? Like Newman did, right?
Yeah, right.
Like when you're talking about Kyle Monunga, Ozzie Trapillo,
Luther Birding,
Colston Loveland. First of all, we have not talked about Colston Loveland this whole show. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, and I was a Ty Warren guy. I ain't saying nothing about it no more, right? And it's of course they're always gonna be tied together, right? They'll always be tied together. But when Ben Johnson knew what worked in his system, I was like, I'm gonna let Ben Johnson rock. This is the guy he said he needed. You see why he said he needed that guy, right? You see in this game where dog he broke Keith Jackson, like dog Keith Jackson's record, like the great like tight end dude for a rookie, like man, Colston Loveland and what he's been doing the last 7 weeks at least is remarkable. And you think about that type of weapon moving forward for this franchise and having a matchup nightmare in Colston Loveland and air snatching, catching tight end. I mean, the game that Colston Loveland had today, where would the Bears be without Colston Loveland this last 2 months, right?
It'd be like you and me sitting in their living rooms.
All right, so focus on this game and you want to talk about a little bit about the future.
I guess we could turn the page. I'm trying to think. Are there any guys we missed? DJ Moore came through big. Offensive line. Drew Dahlman, man. Kind of a tough game for Drew Dahlman, but we're not going to focus on that. This is a celebratory thing. We talked about the Tez effect. We talked about Austin Booker. Grady Jarrett was out there. I saw some Grady Jarrett.
I definitely saw Grady Jarrett. You know the thing that was bad, that was sad? The defensive line got gassed at the end, and you could tell it was like if they had an extra timeout, because it'd be like, wait, just give them a second, because you're giving it your all, and you can only give your all so much when you're like, I got to go to 10, right? Because you would see they were trying to get to 10, but it was like, dude, he's holding the ball too long. I'm tired. But yeah, Grady Jarrett popped. Definitely, again, we talked about Austin Booker. There was some Tez effect. We never get as much Tez effect. The meter isn't what the meter should be. Jalen Johnson banged up, but some of those batted balls that he had were definitely game-changing ball. Like to go from a dude where it's like, maybe they need to get his ass out of here, and to be Jalen Johnson for moments, it speaks a lot, man. These are guys that you can root for, and it's nice to root for them. But yeah, man, this was fun. I've said this to you this season,
and it's year one. It's year
one. I said
dude.
this to you. This cardiac team, right? And that this game would be so much better if they would, from the rooter to the tutor, I said last episode, have won. It wouldn't have been. This was perfect. Outside of the injuries, this was a perfect way to do. I just hope this isn't the calling card for this team forever. You know what I'm saying? Because this, you can't get snake bitten.
You want them to win a game,
right? You can't get snake bitten being a come from behind team consistently, right? Like it can't come back to where it's like, okay, dude, that reign is over, and now either you win from ahead or this window is closed, basically. But I'm shook. I'm literally sitting here shook to know. I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy this enough, because I had to get my thoughts together to do this in a way.
The city is shook, and the city should be shook. I mean, you saw that stadium. Not a person left. Good on you. Good on you, Bears fans at Soldier Field. Not a person left that stadium because they knew what was possible. And then for like a while after that game was over, it was still rocking. I don't know if you could hear it coming through my windows. People are setting off fireworks.
You sure those are fireworks?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I guess you can never be sure. I guess one can never be sure. Pretty sure they were fireworks. This is huge. this is huge. Enjoy every minute of it. All right, should we talk
Definitely.
future?
And the crazy thing too, I'll say this.
Mhm.
After was talking about, and I was thinking this like today, just the amount of people that you see in the Bears gear, like how Chicago, the lukewarm sports fan, how the Bears bring everyone together. Like it doesn't matter. The Bulls that they can't reach this because it's not football. But like if the Bulls have a superstar gets like this,
Right.
the baseball teams are different. And unfortunately, hockey's a niche sport still to a degree, even though Chicago loves hockey a lot, particularly when they're winning. But the Bears are different. And it doesn't matter what demographic you're from. Like I bet, man, if I had some money on Bears apparel, right, just to like this would have been, if it was stock that I could have bought, this would have been the months to get myself into it right now. The amount of people you just see wearing Bears stuff, man, is definitely remarkable. Go ahead, Alex. Let's move to the future with who the Bears could end up playing next week, depending on, of course, the Eagles versus the 49ers game. And of course, the Bears get the stronger team being the second seed. They get the higher seed. So of course, it's going to be Seattle's going to get the weakest seed. So we'll see. It could be a chance where they run it back with the 49ers. Go ahead.
No. So if the 49ers win,
the
49ers go to Seattle.
Right.
Seattle and the 49ers re-rack it. So if the 49ers win, the Bears will play the Rams. I nearly said the St. Louis Rams, the Los Angeles Rams.
Wow.
If the Eagles win, it will be the Bears playing the Eagles because the Rams are the 5 seed and the Eagles are the 3 seed. So I guess, Kenneth, who would you rather the Chicago Bears play? A rematch against the Eagles, this time in Chicago, where I'm sure the Eagles, who are playing better football, have some things they would like to rectify on the football field against the Chicago Bears, or potential MVP Matt Stafford and 2 of the best wide receivers in the game in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. And by the way, have we talked at all about the Bears secondary and how they're kind of banged up?
Yeah.
So who do you want? Who do you want?
And also, don't forget Kyron Williams too.
Let's throw Blake Corum in there.
All right. Don't forget Jarrett Verse and what they do on the defensive side when we thought Aaron Donald was gone. It's going to be over, right? And it's like, no, it's called drafting. To be honest with you, and it's what you keyed in on. Initially, I was like, I don't know if I want that Eagles smoke, but the Eagles really haven't. That offense hasn't clicked consistently, right? So the Bears, and you just said how banged up the secondary is. It'll probably be better for the Bears to face the Eagles and try to. Saquon Barkley hasn't had a great year. He still is Saquon Barkley. But knowing the disconnection between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, but also Jalen Hurts' tendency to not risk the ball, to not throw the ball as much out of risk of turning the ball over, his risk aversion. Yeah, so I would say the Eagles, because the score, when you look at how much the Bears can score. Like, think about it, dude. This is the score. I think I predicted this score. Like, we hit this score. We said 31. Like, we hit this score on the preview show. What?
No, you said the game was going to be in the 20s, like a 1954 game.
No. This is what I said. Okay. I'm telling you, we can run it back.
Run the tape.
I run the tape. I said, and I switched to the 20s because you had said something. I said, yeah, I could see it in the 20s, but I said it was going to be 31. And I said, I think it could be a 4-point score. I'm telling you. But the thing is, I said, I don't know. This could be 2-1 points, right? But this is right around the window where we were discussing this. But the point that I'm trying to make is the Bears can score 31 points in a playoff game, right?
Yes.
And for me, that would make me feel better facing the Eagles, because the Eagles, not to say they can't do it, but they hasn't consistently been doing it this year, where Matthew Stafford and them guys, you know what I'm saying?
No, when they're firing on all cylinders, look out.
That pass to the tight end, right up the side.
Yeah, outrageous.
Yeah, dude, I'm good. I mean, I'll face you in an NFC Championship game, but if I can wait, if we can start that off, I'll probably ride with that. I'd rather go beat up on the world champs again.
All right. Okay.
What about you?
I do similarly think the Bears probably, and this is a silly game to play. It's a silly game to play because these are all really good football teams. I think the Eagles also, just because I don't even think the Rams are going to play as bad as they did today. The Rams played poorly today, and they still, and I'm sure they could say the same thing about the Bears. Bears played poorly today, and they still won. The Rams similarly. Here's the thing, like, I almost expect the Bears to play poorly in the first half and then have their crazy, crazy fourth quarter. Like, we've seen that movie 10 times this year.
Right.
The Rams play more consistently. And again, Matt Stafford, you want to talk about a guy who has been there, done that. Sean McVay, a coach who has been there, done that. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. We literally just went through all the guys. We don't have to rattle the guys off again. That's not to say that Jalen Hurts hasn't been there, done that, because obviously he has. He's played in the Super Bowls at extremely high levels. Bears fans know what Vic Fangio can cook up on that defense.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, I'm not trying to like minimize one team over the other, but just right now, gut check. You got to imagine the Rams bounce back from how they played today and play so much better next week. And the Bears have already got the blueprint for how to beat the Eagles, and they just got to do it again.
If they play the Rams, it'll be the Jonah Jackson Bowl, basically.
And the Coleman Shelton Bowl. The swapped offensive lineman bowl.
Yeah. We I'm talking about the guy that we have more than. I'm joking, but still. All right. Anything? Wait, do you have any game? Where are your game balls at?
We are giving out game balls today because the Chicago Bears won a very important football game. Where to start? You want to start? Can you kick it off?
All right. I'm definitely going to give one to Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
I'm going to give, like, that kid has been balling out. I haven't even really thought about his future to a degree, because I'm kind of living in the moment more than in some cases enjoying this season. But that kid has been balling out. So my first game ball will go to rookie tight end, breaking Keith Jackson's record, Colston Loveland, in a playoff game. Man, great standout performance. Without you, it doesn't get done.
For a while, it looked like this guy was going to get whatever the opposite of a game ball is. But
I know where you're going.
You got to give it to 18. You got to give it to the captain for how he played. Caleb Williams down the stretch. I mean, was he perfect? Far from perfect. Did he make mistakes? Yep. Missed some throws. Yep. But the chips on the table, have to have it. Execute or go home. Dude came through time and time again, made some ridiculous throws, made some not ridiculous throws that were just the right throws, just good throws, made good decisions, shook off a frankly shaky first half. And I think I saw somewhere 361 yards, Bears postseason record. That has nothing to do with playing 17 games or 16 games. It has everything to do with the Bears not having a lot of high-end quarterback play and not a lot of postseason appearances lately. But how about another record for Caleb Williams? I'm fairly certain I saw this 361 yards, new Bears postseason record. So Caleb Williams, have a game ball.
I'm giving half of a game ball because it's only half of the game to Bears defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. You get half of a game ball, sir. But we will dress it up nice. It will be sweet, as any game ball can be presented once, we get it and we take it and we write the date and the playoff game and who we beat on it and what your defense did. But look, that's one thing that's always big is halftime adjustments. We've been through some coaches and coordinators that, hey, I started off like this. I started off and this is how I finished. right? Like this is basically how it goes. So half a game ball to Dennis Allen.
I'll give between a couple of guys. I'll give a game ball to Austin Booker. He got the one sack.
Oof.
He got the one sack.
The pressures.
The pressures and motor that, the things we heard about Austin Booker when he was drafted were athletic freak.
Max Crosby get comp.
Right, exactly. And the pursuit, the Max Crosby, the undying pursuit of the ball. And I think we saw that today. And I think it was much needed when, like the Bears defense was like, oh, what's going on? There were some big moments where he's running down the ball from behind, and bringing the requisite energy and focus.
Every week, because we don't want to get Mark Anderson, right?
Yeah.
But every week it's like, this ain't a fluke, right? Like this kid, he may be a little something. I mean, more than a little, but like, and this is a playoff game, like, and of course, more attention is going to be focused to Montez Sweat, but this kid is out there doing the things that we would like Montez Sweat to do, right? It's like, man, if the other guy, but I like that game ball. This will probably be the last one because maybe I'm definitely giving one to Devin Duvernay.
He was the other guy I was considering.
Yeah, I'm giving one to Devin Duvernay. Devin Duvernay put them in great field position. Shout out to Devin Duvernay. They needed that. They needed everything they can get today to pull off these games, and he's been a good veteran addition to the kickoff and return team.
He catches the football. Good things happen when you catch the football.
Good things. Any extra points?
I do have an extra point. NFL playoffs has been phenomenal. These two games today were absolutely phenomenal. But the best show on television actually returned 2 nights ago, and that is The Traitors, man. My wife and I are deep in The Traitors. That's our go-to. Like her and I together, when our tastes blend and come together, they come together with The Traitors. Donna Kelsey, so far, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's a hell of a cast. Donna Kelsey, absolute joy to watch. We're also a big fan of comedian Ron Funches. He's a guy who, when my wife and I lived in LA, we would go see Ron Funches.
No, you're talking about,
yeah, the comedian. He's also on the show this year. Also, yeah. Great performance from Ron Funches in this show this season. So all my Traitors people who are out there, and I know you're out there. We're all celebrating together. It feels so good. We're sitting on the couch together. We're like, man, we're so back. So Traitors season 4, the hype is so unbelievably real, Kenneth.
All right, let's get this back to Bears and football, because this is not the day for you.
This is not the day to talk about Traitors.
My extra point is, man, you all, like, I don't know if you all are as numb as I am, or you've had more fuel in you than me since I had to record. But I still can't believe it. I can believe it because they've been doing it. But like, man, like this was gonna be hellfire, brimstone and hellfire, but still with a eye to the future, because I think they've shown us that they can really be a good organization under Ben Johnson, with Caleb as his quarterback. But to actually pull that off, it got to the point watching that game that I was like, you know what? If this game ends and it's the Bears lose by 3 points, I'm gonna be mad because we have to talk about why they lost. Mm-hmm. But man, they climbed back to this position where a field goal ties the game, right? Mm-hmm. And to go and then score and be like, no, you gotta go, you gotta go score a touchdown, right? Like the field goal's not gonna work for you. You gotta go score the two. Dog, you know how I can be 2-point conversion averse, right?
You can, yeah.
That's what they do. They do that. You know what I'm saying? And so you talk about this quarterback where in a collapsed field where you're at during the 2-point conversion, all right, there's tighter spaces. He consistently gets it done, right? And great play calling by your coach. Yeah. Yes, we didn't get a game ball because we're still kind of mad by the cutesy stuff. Well, I love you, Ben, but man, you got to stop playing sometimes. But great play call by the coach on several plays, but just some boneheaded stuff. But just, man, I can't believe it. Everybody, as we get ready to get off this air, man, enjoy this. I hope you are around your friends or family, or even if you was by yourself, you felt that you was with other people, because we were all together in this. And tune in. We'll be back this week to give the preview episode of who the Bears will end up facing next weekend. And of course, after next weekend, we will be here live streaming to talk about the Bears winning another game. Right? Like, we're gonna take this to the NFC Championship game, right? Like, you know how crazy it'll be to make it to the NFC Championship game in year one? And again, without questioning, like, well, we still don't have a quarterback, because that was the problem with 2018, right? Yep. But like, oh man, so we appreciate everybody to just watch tonight. We'll be back. Please be safe, but please enjoy this. All right. And even whatever happens next week, please enjoy this, because we don't get nice things that often. And we finally got one hell of a season this year that at times it looked like they were bad, then they were bum slayers, and then they were like, it was like, oh, wait. And then it was like, no, we can beat anybody. Like, that's how it got this year. And they proved it again, where they can come out and play like trash and still beat one of the most talented teams in the NFL, young talent at that. So thank you from Alex Shapiro, Kenneth Davis, the Windy City Pod on Fanside. We'll be back this week to preview it. And just make sure you hit the Googles, and make sure you check the Twitters or the Instagram to see when we come out. We always appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.